The number one reason why you are not getting better is because you are getting something from your disease. You're getting something from your situation. You're getting something from your circumstances. Somehow, it's feeding a need that you have. And so if you've been struggling with health for a while, or you know somebody who's been struggling with health for a while, you want to stay tuned to this video, because I'm going to help you to understand what is the number one and pretty much the only reason why you are not getting better, why you're not responding to your treatment, why you're not, responding to your supplements, maybe even to your exercise and things like that. Maybe you say, I'm doing the work, I'm doing the wellness work, I'm doing the fitness work, I'm doing the physiotherapy, I'm doing all of these things, but nothing is working. There is really just one reason for that, and that reason is that you are getting something out of it. And that is something that serves you well. So let me explain. My name is Adrian Nelson. I'm a life transformation guide, and I am absolutely brilliant at helping people discover what their blockages are. Be it a blockage in love, be it a blockage in money, be it a blockage in whatever. I support people with all of that. But this is the one thing that I know for sure. That no matter what you have and no matter what you achieved in life, when your health is threatened, when your life is threatened, that becomes the most important thing to you. Yes? Because we need our health in able to live a beautiful life. Yes? So, as I said, the number one reason why things are not shifting and changing is because you get something from it. Now let me explain this to you. Now do it through an example. Let's say, for example, and this is a more common example than you may actually realize. Let's say, for example, you're a parent, you're a mother, you're a father, you had your kids in your home, you were a good parent. And then you get a little bit older and you start feeling lonely. And then you start maybe developing a disease. Now, this is usually when, this disease goes on and it's raging and it's crazy and whatever. So at this point, people will come and see me. And consciously, you will tell me, I've got this disease. It's very, very scary. I would like to get rid of it. I would like to heal. I've tried everything else. Nothing else is working. I don't understand what's going on. Consciously, you want to heal. Then we go into sessions. So I would normally, in a typical session, I will speak to you a little bit, what brought you here. And the thing to understand is that the problem is usually not a problem. The problem is typically a manifestation, a consequence of a deeper belief, of a pattern. So I'm interested in what the pattern is, because once you understand the pattern, you can change the belief. And once you can change the belief, you can change your life. It really is that amazing. Okay? So let's say that you are the parent that is now lonely and you get sick. So consciously you want to heal because you want to live. You don't want to be dying. You don't want to be incapacitated. But on a deeper level, your subconscious may not want to heal. In actual fact, it may be your subconscious that made you sick. Because now when you are sick, your kids come around to visit, your friends come around to visit more, maybe your partner who left you or divorced you or is about to leave or divorce you, they come back, they stay with you. So sometimes when we speak to the subconscious mind and we say, okay, what is the worst thing about getting healthier? The subconscious will be like, I don't want to get healthier. If I get healthy, I'm going to be alone again. I'm going to be lonely again. My partner's going to leave. My children's going to leave. I'm going to end up all alone. I don't want to be all alone. This disease is serving me very, very well. Everybody's here. Everybody's caring for me. Everybody's taking care of me. And I'm not talking about running a sorry show here. I'm talking about a subconscious belief and how powerful it actually really, really is. And we actually get that quite often. And when your subconscious understands that it's getting something from your illness that it wants, and more often than not, that is company, that is support, maybe it could even be something in the lines of if you've had a very traumatic life and you're not getting any attention whatsoever, it will make you sick because the sickness gives you attention. It makes you feel less lonely. And nobody likes to feel lonely, because when you feel lonely, you feel alone, you feel afraid, you feel unsupported. It's a horrible thing being alone. It's horrible. Nobody likes it. So if you can't get it through the forms of maybe love or anything like that, friendship, kinship, support, you're going to find a different way. Now, the thing about the subconscious is the subconscious doesn't see right and wrong, good and bad. Those are conscious terms. The only thing the subconscious is seeing, okay, this is a need, this is how we can fulfill that need. It's not going to let it go because it understands what you get from it. So once we can communicate to the subconscious mind in a beautiful, relaxed and receptive states through these amazing theta healing sessions that I do, then we can understand, okay, where is this even coming from? So here's the thing about this is making it so amazing. So let's say that, and this is just an example, this is not an actual person, but this is very much a lot of people's story, which is why I'm using this example, okay? So let's say you're a lady that come and see me because now you discover that you're getting, let's say you're getting some sort of cancer. And you're probably not going to die just like that. It's probably going to be like a deathbed and it's going to be quite excruciating, that sort of thing. So when you look at it from the mind that just wants some attention, you're going to get a lot of attention for quite an extended period of time. Okay? So now you come in and realize, okay, this is what you want. And this can all be in one session, by the way. I always say it's a beautiful idea for people to book a couple of sessions because we heal in layers. But even if you start off with just one, depending on when you see this video, what I have is I have an offer that if you buy 4 sessions, you pay for them, you get a 5th one free. And I also say to people, have one session, see how you feel about it, and if you like it, then you can go for the package deal, and we can just subtract what you already paid from that. Boom, easy peasy, So you discover, okay, this is my real need. But then the question is, okay, where did this need start? Where did it begin? Because it didn't start with when your kids left the home. It didn't start when you get divorced or when your husband started cheating on you. That's not when it started. So where did it start? And then it's beautiful because in the subconscious we can go back to what is the key belief, what is the bottom belief, where was that seed initially planted. And that might be maybe as a child, let's say you were 4 years old, and maybe you didn't get the attention that you needed from your parents for whatever reason. Maybe you were adopted. It's quite interesting when I work with people that were adopted. You can have the most beautiful adoptive parents. There is still a part in the mind that believes itself to have been neglected. Because the mind just sees black and white. And so it tries to fill that void. And we've got all these different sides to our personalities, The higher self just wants to grow. The ego that many people are familiar with gets something out of it. What is it? The ego is always throwing some sort of party when we're not doing well. Then there's your survival self, which is a part that understands what do I need to do to survive in this world. And a lot of times, when we have triggers of traumas and stuff like that, which most people in this life actually do, then your survival self can be out of sync. There's your undercurrent self, which is the part of you that wants to resolve problems, and it can take years to do that. That is how the broken child ends up, say the broken child that didn't get the attention from a father that she needed, ends up with the often abusive husband, because it's the same belief. And we have this subconsciously. It's not like we do it deliberately. All right? So when you can understand what is the actual need, you change the belief in the subconscious mind. But before you can pull the belief, before you can change the belief, you have to understand what you are getting from the belief. And a lot of times, our belief can be very powerful. So yes, the belief can make you sick, but you had the same belief running throughout your life. And it's so amazing usually when I'm done with a session with a client, you say, okay, let's look at your life and see how many times the same belief has played out in different ways. Because a lot of times we think we've got a lot of different problems, but it's actually one belief that is causing you to have different expressions. It expresses itself in different ways. And by the time the belief expresses itself through illness, it would have typically, not necessarily, but typically utilized all the other possibilities already. So it's kind of like at a point of desperation. It will almost kill the host in order to get what it wants. It's like an HIV virus. It will kill the host in order for it to, to keep on multiplying. And a belief could be toxic like this. Okay? And so I consider myself divinely blessed that, through the beautiful work that I do and my natural intuition that I'm born with, I can hear your beliefs speak. But what is powerful about these sessions, and anybody can do it. Some people believe, oh, I can't be hypnotized, and maybe there's just a lot of funky stuff. And I say, well, what do you have to lose? Except a whole lot of problems, Even, when it comes to things like dealing with depression. A lot of times people's got mental health issues because of trauma that they're carrying from childhood. They've got high functioning anxiety because your brain doesn't understand the difference between being 45 years old and being 4 years old. So that survival self that wants to survive, what do I need to survive? I need to surround myself with people, or it's not safe to trust people. That undercurrent self that wants to resolve problems, it doesn't know that you're 45 now. The mind doesn't have a concept of time. And you will also see that when there's early childhood trauma, your system doesn't develop fully. So it has a negative impact on your central nervous system, like your whole mind, with the brain included. It will also have an impact on your immune system. So a lot of times we'll think that those are separate problems, but it comes from the same cause. And the powerful thing, I promise you, the amazing powerful thing about these sessions are that when you change the key belief, when you pull the belief, everything else changes. Basically, change your thoughts, change your mind. It is so powerful. It is so dynamically powerful, And this could happen over a series of sessions, but it can also happen in one session. Now, there's something that I really need to bring in here that's very important. A lot of people have this idea that you need to heal quickly. Now, I've seen some real miracles in my life. I'm talking about instant healings. And I have recently completed the Theta Healing coaching in DNA 3. If you look in the Theta Healing playlist, you'll see it over there. I've made a video about that as well. That is all focusing on instant healings. But here's the thing. Any sudden shift that you are not ready for will overwhelm your mind. And then it will reject it. And it can even see it as an invasion, almost like a virus. And that is the reason why even if people suddenly meet that love of their life or suddenly win the lottery or whatever, they can become so overwhelmed by it that they completely bugger it up. Because there's a belief inside of you that says you are not worthy of this, you are not deserving of this, you are not good enough for this. And a lot of times you'll also find that those people, they give a lot, but they're not very good at receiving. Yes? All of these can play out in amazing ways. And when you look at when you look at any disease, you can practically give me any disease, and I'll be able to tell you what has led up to it. And a lot of times, a lot of these things are generational. All right. In my family, on my mother's side of the family, there's a lot of diabetes. On my father's side of the family, there's a lot of cancer, and there's a lot of kidney stones. And I remember I was about 20 years old, and this one day I was popping into one of my aunts, just like, oh, my child this, and oh, my child that. And I just said to myself, I'm not going to do this. And this is long before I knew any of this powerfully dynamic work. That's how powerful your mind is. I hardly get a flu, In the beginning of COVID, I remember before we even knew what COVID was, myself and my best friend who stayed in an apartment at the time, we got very, very sick for about 3-4 days. First she got sick, then I got sick. And then I said, I don't know what this is, but I'm not going to put up with this. Boom, just like that, it was gone. Throughout COVID, I was seeing people in person. I'm definitely not going to poison my body with any sort of vaccine or whatever. But speaking of that, even when we've taken things that are very concerning to us, like vaccinations, and this is what really fascinates me about this work, is that your DNA can be reprogrammed. So whether you, at whichever point, in whichever way, you may have received some sort of, exposure to anything that is not good for you, whether this is in vitro, whether this is sort of like radiation or anything like that, your system can be cleared of that. You are having new stem cells regenerating in your body every single day. About every 4 months, you're practically a brand new person. And the reason why we keep on having the same problems over and over is because those new stem cells that are, very much neutral when they create it every day. They get programmed with the beliefs that is ongoing within the body. It's ongoing within the subconscious. So if you change that, within a couple of months, you can be a completely different person. A completely different person. And with this work that I do, there are people that have had things like stage 4 cancer. Like they were told to get their affairs in order. And my version of getting your affairs in order is getting your subconscious in order. So that this powerful subconscious can work for you. So if you've got any illness going on and you are interested in finding out why you are having that, then I am more than happy to say that I can help you. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes we don't fully heal from the disease. But can you imagine what a gift it could be to you if you were already terrified? Because remember, at some point on this planet, you have to die. Being born on this planet goes hand in hand with the fact that at some point you have to pass. But would you like yourself or, a loved one that's open to this sort of work, would you prefer for them to pass with peace? Or would you prefer for them to pass with absolute terror and absolute horror? Because they don't know what's coming next. And I believe that what we do in this lifetime determines what is possible for you in your next incarnation. So wouldn't it be great if you can leave all the karma, because karma is a low vibing thing. Karma keeps you here, it keeps you hooked here. Because why do we say most people reincarnate? Because they come back to their karma. Same situation over and over and over. Because again, consciousness doesn't have a concept of time. Sometimes, actually more often than not, our beliefs that make us sick or keep us sick are inherited. I actually said to one of my clients earlier on, I thought it's really, really funny, quite ironic, that a lot of people say that you can't get good things in life, like there's no such thing as a free lunch. But then as I was walking my dog yesterday, I was wondering at the irony. I was walking past my favorite restaurant here in Greyton in South Africa where I live. Now, depending on when you see this, I don't know whether it will still be there or not, but it's called Nianell, which basically means heaven in Afrikaans. And it is amazing. And a lot of my clients, when they say, where do we want to go there, I go there. And I say, interesting enough, even though it's not really something that I thought about, but I get a lot of free lunches. And they're very good free lunches, Change the thought, change the belief. I was a person who always wanted to give and never wanted to receive. That would always keep me in a mild little bit of a flu. Then my chest is not doing so well. Because I'm blocking my flow. And here's the thing. When we block our flow through whatever trauma, you will always have challenges. The problems you have with love and with money and even health, they are often at some point we blocked ourselves. We had some trauma in your early childhood life. As I said, a lot of times things are also inherited. And so this is quite interesting, a lot of the traumatic experiences that we have in childhood, that we would then say that in later adult life, we're having these challenges because of what happened in childhood. A lot of those traumas that we have in childhood, we actually have them based on the beliefs that we are born with. Because you arrive on this planet pre-programmed like a mobile device. You need to be pre-programmed in order to be able to operate within the matrix. So we can find out what that is. And it can be many things. Quite interesting, something that might be quite intriguing, is blessings that can limit you. Now, first of all, the consciousness doesn't have a concept of time. And that is what makes, even from lifetime to lifetime, that is what makes past life regression so powerful. And if this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. I'm quite interested to hear from you and where you are and that sort of stuff. So if you want to know what your limiting beliefs in your family, just look at your family. What do they struggle with? You have those beliefs inside of you. What are they doing good at? You have those beliefs inside of you. So we can amplify the natural good and eradicate what doesn't work for you. Boom, boom, boom. It's really not that hard. As I said, I've seen some real miracles. Okay? Some really fantastic things. Change the thought, change your life. It's really amazing. It's very powerful. And I can't remember what's the previous point I was going to make, but carrying on. You know, we have this idea, so even while healing doesn't have to take forever, we have this idea that in order to heal it has to be difficult and challenging. And a lot of times it's just because we want to tell the story. Oh my God, the pain. Oh, I never knew I was so strong that I could face it. It was excruciating, soul drenching. And sometimes we want that drama because it kind of gives us almost like validity that we are able to have a worthiness of health. I was talking about blessings that limit you. So let's say in your consciousness, even in your forefathers, maybe it could be this line, but in your forefathers, they had the thing of like, as long as you stay by the feet of God or whatever deity it is, and you go to church or whatever institution it is, your life will be blessed. You don't go to church, your life's going to be bad. You are born with that in your DNA, and you may not even know those people. And this is what's interesting also when I work with clients who've been adopted, especially if they didn't have any contact with their biological family. You still have the beliefs, and they still have an impact on your life, which is quite interesting. But what's also interesting is that as babies, we send out pheromones that make us seem cute. And so people take to us. You know, it's quite interesting actually, even with boys. Up until, before they're like around 7, if there's a male energy that comes into the home, then they will normally take to that male energy. Anything around 6.5, 7 and up, they will normally rebel against the energy. It's all different things going on. And in sessions, we can let your consciousness know this is what's going on. There can be shifts and changes. It can be beautiful. So, if you are open to, to get a broader understanding of how I might be able to support you, you can look at some of the other videos here on the playlist. You can check out my social media. I like to offer all sorts of free resources, but what I can say, nothing trumps a personal session. So if you are serious about your health and your well-being spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, then I'm more than happy to help you. So reach out, see what we can set up. I work in person, I work online, to get your health going. Or even if I can't help you to get your health going because maybe you're meant to pass, but then to help you to make the experience less traumatic. So it can be sad, but it doesn't have to be horrifying. Something that keeps on negatively affecting everybody for years to come after your passing. I feel very divinely honored that I get to do this work. And I want to thank you for listening. And from my heart, I wish you all the best. And as the founder of the Silver Method, Joseph Silver, used to say, may your life get better and better and better. From my heart, namaste. Namaste.